So awesome, man. This is great because the best part of Ironman, if you haven't been to Ironman, is not the physical exercise, but it's actually the charge. The charge at the end of Ironman is always amazing, man. And it's amazing because A, you never know what you're gonna get. And then B, you always get wisdom every single time. And we always end with the charge. So Joel reached out to me last night and he said, man, you know, since we aren't doing Ironman, let's at least do the charge and let's post it to the entire church. And it'll be like spiritual food for everybody to grow on every day. So he asked me to start it off for the first one. So here it is. You know, I was thinking about what to charge about today, especially considering that this was going to go out to the entire church. And it made me think of exactly what's going on right now with COVID-19. So I wanted to study out something that kind of encompassed chaos, and it brought me to Judges. Judges 3:31. Sorry. Judges 3:31 says, after Ehud came Shamgar, son of Anath, who struck down 600 Philistines with an ox goad. He too saved Israel. All right, so this guy named Shamgar, he goes and he strikes down 600 Philistines with an ox goad. And an ox goad is this piece of wood that you use to drive ox. It has a poker on it, and you make them pull their plows or whatever. And then Judges 5:6 says, in the days of Shamgar, son of Anath, in the days of Jael, the highways were abandoned, travelers took to winding paths. Now, this made me think of exactly what's going on right now, right? When we look outside, the highways are abandoned, right? COVID-19 is something that is actually real. It's here, and nobody's on the streets. The people are living in fear, just like they are now. The parallels are almost identical, right? And this sounds super familiar with us. But check it out, though. The odds against him were 600 to 1. 600 to 1. Has anybody ever felt like the odds were against them? Mm-hmm. Right? Man, I can't do that. It's gonna be impossible. There's no way I'm gonna make it through this. How am I ever gonna pull myself back up? Right? How am I going to dig out of this hole, man? I really struggle with this. I'm hurting. I'm scared. I'm fearful. The odds are 600 to 1, and our story is no different than his. But check out, he did 3 things, right? First of all, Shamgar wasn't a soldier. He was a farmer, right? So what did he do? He started where he was. A lot of people make excuses. Oh, I'm not good enough to do this. That's for those people, right? No, I'm not good enough to conquer that. That's for those people. But Shamgar said, man, you know what? I'm not a soldier, but I'm going to start where I am, right? And I think we can learn something from that. The second thing he did is he used what he had, right? All he had was his ox goad. That's it, right? He didn't have a pistol. He didn't have any type of combative weapon, man. He had an ox goad, and he used what he had. You know, if we use what we have to our fullest potential, we'll be successful. When we use what we have to our fullest potential, we'll be successful. Michael Jordan, he didn't grow up with a ton of money, and all he had was a $10 basketball. And he used it to its fullest potential. And Michael Jordan now, he has a shoe line, he has a clothing line, he has his own team. He's a multi-millionaire, but it started with just using what he had. A $10 basketball. If we use the tools that God has given us, even during times like this, we'll reach a potential that we never thought we could. And the last thing is, he did what he could to make a difference, right? He defeated 600 Philistines. And when we look at that, we're like, oh man, that's impossible. But it doesn't say he did it all at once, right? He did it little by little, right? One at a time. And I think we can apply the same concepts to our life, right? Sometimes we feel overwhelmed because we feel like we have to do this all at once. We have to try this all at once. We have to conquer this all at once. But the reality is, all we have to do is take the next step in the right direction. Right direction. One at a time. And at the end of the day, if we continue to step by step in the right direction, we'll conquer 600 steps, no doubt. The problem is we're too afraid to start. So start where we are. use what we have, step in the right direction and do what we can. That's what I have for you guys today.